My third flight in less than 48 hours finally touched down. My eyes were gritty, my throat raw from cabin air, when my phone buzzed. One curt line: "You're no longer required." Fired mid-journey. No meeting, no conversation. An email that might as well have been a dismissal slammed through a slot in my life. They expected me to crumble in a terminal, to return home shamed and pleading for what little dignity remained. They'd misjudged me. I can still see my first day with that firm. Crisp suit, polished shoes, nervous handshakes in a glass-wall boardroom. They used to call me the fixer. I resurrected deals on the brink, salvaged fortunes, and defended them where it mattered. I dismantled rivals with methodical force. I traded in loyalty like currency and spent it freely, until I noticed how cheaply they treated it. The first subtle signal came weeks earlier, a tiny edit in a contract, a name excised, mine. I asked about it, and was told it was a clerical oversight. I kept a quiet ledger in my head. Then came the exclusions, dinners I wasn't invited to, meetings scheduled without me. An intern mumbled, "The new team won't need," before swallowing the rest. I smiled with held questions. Let them assume I was blind. People let their guard down when they think you're oblivious. I didn't act then, but I was watching. By the time that email arrived, I had already been preparing. Copies of key documents, correspondence, transaction trails, everything duplicated and encrypted across secure drives. I had built an invisible map of their operations, drawn not for them but through my labor. They believed they'd excise me. They didn't see that I'd been engraving myself into their system. I knew their clients intimately, not as faceless accounts, but as people I'd flown to meet, defended in court, guided through crises. In Zurich, while they pictured me nursing a minibar whiskey, I walked across in the airport to a private bank. Meetings followed, discreet, deliberate, unemotional. I never demanded they abandon the company. I laid out facts, pending litigation, hidden tax schemes, recorded conversations, evidence with the power to crush reputations and unravel empires. Faced with that, clients made clean legal choices. No coercion, only unavoidable truths. Within 2 days, 3 major accounts, together worth $1.5 billion, quietly realigned. Contracts were signed, funds redirected, holdings retitled. Every action was lawful and voluntary. The shift was surgical. On the 3rd day, I walked back into their headquarters as if I belonged there. Security nodded. Old routines died slowly. I pushed into a board meeting without asking. Silence dropped over the room. Their chairman, flushed and flustered, barked that I no longer worked there. I set a folder on the table. Termination notices, contracts, transfer confirmations. The paper trail still warm with ink. "Neither do your clients," I said. Phones were grabbed. Calls were placed. Replies didn't come. 3 chairs that had been the heartbeat of that company were now empty. The vice president who had pushed hardest on my removal went visibly pale. Shock moved through the board like a wave. "You cut me off mid-flight," I told him quietly. "But you forgot who knows how things fly. The engines of pilots, the runway before takeoff. No dramatics, no threats, only steady, unavoidable facts. They'd sent me away at altitude. I brought their collapse back to ground level. When I left, the receptionist looked up with wide eyes, aware now that rumors had become reality. I gave a small nod, no gloating, no spectacle, and stepped outside. The air tasted sharper. My phone chimed again. Not dismissal this time, but confirmation. My own practice. My own clients. My own enterprise, rising from the ruins they assumed would bury me. Their betrayal had been the key that opened the door. Later, when I think of that single cold email, I smile. They told me I was no longer needed. They missed the distinction. I was never merely needed. I was indispensable. And in deciding to throw me away, they made me untouchable.